In every field, in every battle, in every moment of high stakes, there are two kinds of people: those who wait and those who move. Those who analyze every possible outcome, run every scenario in their heads, and get lost in the endless cycle of what-ifs. And then, there are those who trust their instincts, take the shot, and own the moment, before anyone else even realizes what's happening. Decisive action is what separates the legends from the forgotten. It's the difference between the entrepreneur who launches the company and the one who keeps tweaking the business plan forever. It's the fighter who throws the knockout punch at the perfect moment, instead of waiting for the right time that never comes. It's the investor who seizes the deal while everyone else is still wondering if it's worth it. Indecision is a disease. It creeps in like a whisper, making you doubt, making you stall, making you wait for just a little more information. But that delay, that hesitation, that's the opening your competition is waiting for. That's the crack in your armor that gives them the space to make the move you should have made first. And the truth is, most people lose, not because they aren't talented, not because they aren't capable, but because they simply don't act fast enough when it counts. Think about the moments that define success. They aren't the times when everything is slow, comfortable, and predictable. They are the split-second decisions, the high-pressure choices, the do-or-die situations, where you have to trust that everything you've built, everything you've trained for is enough. And in those moments, the ones who hesitate are already lost. The world doesn't reward hesitation. It rewards those who take ownership of the moment and make the damn move. That doesn't mean recklessness. It doesn't mean acting without intelligence or strategy. It means that when the moment comes, you don't hesitate. You don't overthink. You don't second-guess yourself into oblivion while someone else makes the decision for you. Greatness doesn't wait. Look at the most dominant figures in history: military generals, visionary CEOs, elite athletes. The one thing they have in common is the ability to move when the time is right, without fear, without pause, without waiting for validation from the outside world. Because the truth is, no one is going to give you permission to be great. No one is going to clear the path for you. If you want it, you take it. If you see the opportunity, you grab it before it disappears. Decisiveness is about commitment. When you make the move, you commit fully. You don't dip a toe in the water. You dive in. You don't take a half step. You charge forward. The reason most people fail isn't because they made the wrong move. It's because they never fully committed to the move. They did make. They hesitated, held back, second-guessed themselves, and that uncertainty killed them before they even started look at any fight. Whether in business, in sports, or in life, the one who moves first, with confidence, puts the other on defense. The one who hesitates gives up control. The second you stall, you give someone else the advantage. And once they have it, once they seize control, you're playing their game, not yours. Hesitation isn't just a mistake. It's a weakness. And in high STI situations, weakness is fatal. The world is full of people who almost did something great. They almost launched the business. They almost made the investment. They almost stepped up and took their shot. But almost doesn't count. Nobody remembers the ones who waited too long. Nobody celebrates the ones who thought about making a move, but never did. The ones who are remembered, the ones win, are the ones who acted when the opportunity was there. If you want to be unstoppable, you have to train yourself to act before hesitation sets in, to condition yourself to recognize the moment and go for it fully, completely, without holding back. You have to build the muscle of decisiveness so that when the moment comes, you don't even question yourself. You just move. Because the truth is, most people don't lose to others. They lose to themselves. They lose to their own hesitation. their own self-doubt, their own fear of making the wrong move. And that's the real tragedy, not being beaten by someone stronger, but beating yourself before the game. Even begins the ones who win. They don't let that happen every moment. Every situation, every competition comes down to one thing: who takes control first. Because here's the truth: there is no middle ground. Either you own the game or someone else does. Either you dictate the pace or you get dragged along by someone stronger, faster, more decisive. The moment you allow someone else to take control, you've already lost. Domination isn't just about being aggressive. It's about setting the tone, controlling the narrative, making the moves that force everyone else to react. The ones who dominate aren't the ones who wait to see what happens. They are the ones who decide what happens. They walk into the room, and before they even speak, you feel their presence. They step onto the field and the game bends to their will. They take over meetings, industries, arenas, entire markets. Not because they are necessarily the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented, but because they refuse to let someone else control the outcome. And make no mistake, if you don't take control, someone else will. If you aren't making the first move, you're already behind. Because in every competition, in every deal, in every battle, there is someone looking for an opening, waiting for hesitation, scanning for weakness. And if they find it in you, they will take advantage of it without hesitation. They will press their advantage, and the second they do, you are playing on their terms, not yours. Look at the most dominant leaders in any field. They are not passive. They are not waiting for permission. They don't look around to see what everyone else is doing before they move. They force the opposition to react to them. They step forward first. They make the first aggressive push, and that's why they win. Because control is the ultimate power. If you can dictate how things unfold, you already have the advantage. The biggest corporations don't react to trends. They create them. The best athletes don't adjust to the competition. They impose their game on everyone else. The top negotiators don't let the other side set the terms. They control the conversation from the very first sentence. The ones who hesitate, who step back, who wait, they are the ones who get eaten alive. Because this world isn't fair. It doesn't wait for you to feel ready. It doesn't pause while you gather your confidence. It moves forward with or without you. And the only way to keep up is to get ahead. Domination isn't about playing dirty. It's about playing to win. It's about knowing deep in your core that if you don't take control, someone else will. It's about having the mindset that you are either dictating the terms or you are being forced to follow someone else's, and the ones who are forced to follow, they never win. It starts with presence before you even make a move. The energy you bring into a situation determines whether you are in control or not. Walk into a negotiation with uncertainty, and they will sense it. Show up to a competition with doubt, and they will capitalize on it. But if you walk in with absolute conviction, if you radiate certainty, if you exude the confidence of someone who already knows they are in control, then before anything even happens, you've already put the opposition on their back foot. And once you establish that presence, you have to keep pressing forward. The mistake most people make is that they start strong, but then they hesitate. They move aggressively, but then they second guess. And the second they do, they lose momentum. The best competitors, the best leaders, the best in the world, at anything, they don't stop pressing. They don't take their foot off the gas. They don't give their opponents even a second to recover. They keep attacking, keep leading, keep setting the pace until the other side has nothing left to fight with. This is what separates the winners from everyone else. The winners don't just work hard. They don't just put in effort. They take absolute control from the very beginning and refuse to give it up. They create the momentum and keep it moving in their direction. Because when you dominate, You don't have to adjust. You don't have to play by someone else's rules. You don't have to scramble to react to their moves. You make the moves, you set the rules, and you force everyone else to play catch-up. Hesitation is the silent killer of dreams. It creeps in just before the moment of action, whispering doubts, creating delays, making you question everything you already know. And in that fraction of a second, that pause, that flicker of uncertainty, you lose because while you're hesitating, someone else is moving while you're thinking they're doing. And once they've made their move, you're already behind. The truth is, hesitation isn't just a bad habit. It's a decision. It's a choice to pause when you should be striking. It's a choice to let fear dictate your actions instead of confidence. And every single time you hesitate, you are giving someone else the opportunity to take what should have been yours. Look at the moments in your life where you missed an opportunity. A job. You should have gone for a conversation. You should have had a risk you should have taken. If you go back to those moments, you'll see it clearly. It wasn't that you weren't capable. It wasn't that you didn't have the skills or the intelligence. It was that you hesitated. You waited just long enough for the moment to pass, for doubt to creep in, for someone else to step up and take what could have been yours. This is why the most dominant people in the world, the ones who win consistently, have trained themselves to act before hesitation sets in. They have conditioned themselves to move the second they recognize an opportunity. They don't allow themselves the luxury of overthinking. They don't stand at the edge of the cliff, wondering what could go wrong. They jump because they know that by the time most people decide to move, it's already too late. Hesitation is rooted in fear. Fear of failure. Fear of making the wrong decision. Fear of looking stupid. But here's the truth. Failure isn't what kills success. Indecision is the ones who move fast, who take risks, who seize the moment they fail too. But they fail forward. They make mistakes and adjust. They take a wrong turn and correct course. And because they are always moving, always acting, always in motion, they stay ahead. The ones who hesitate, they get stuck. They get caught in the loop of endless decision-making, analysis, paralysis, waiting for the perfect moment that never comes. And while they're waiting, the world moves on without them. There is no perfect moment. There is no 100% guarantee that you're making the right choice. But what's worse, making a move, and having to adjust, or standing still, and watching someone else take everything you wanted. Think about a fight. Two opponents stare each other down. The one who hesitates, even for a split second, is the one who gets hit first. It's the same in business, the same in relationships, the same in life. The one who moves first, who takes control, who doesn't pause to question whether they're ready, that's the one who wins. Regret doesn't come from failure. It comes from knowing you had a shot and didn't take it. It comes from looking back and realizing that hesitation cost you everything you wanted. Because in the moment, hesitation feels small. It feels like just a brief pause, just a little more time to think. But those small hesitations compound. They add up. And before you know it, a lifetime has passed and you're left with nothing but what-ifs. The people who dominate their fields, the ones who seem unstoppable, they aren't necessarily the smartest, the strongest, or the most talented. They are the ones who trust themselves enough to act. They are the ones who, when they see an opening, don't freeze up. They go all in. This is why speed matters not. Reckless speed, not impulsive decision-making, but decisive action, the ability to see an opportunity and move on it immediately, the ability to make a call and commit to it. Because when you hesitate, you create space for doubt, for fear, for second-guessing. And the second you give those things room to exist, they will take over. You have to be faster than your fears. You have to train yourself to recognize hesitation and crush it before it takes hold. Because the moment you pause, The moment you start thinking, instead of acting, you've already started losing. There is a moment in every battle, at every competition, every pursuit of greatness, where the decision is made not by words, not by strategy, but by action. This is the point of no return. The second you commit so fully, so completely, that turning back is no longer an option. The second hesitation dies, doubt disappears, and the only path left is forward. Most people never reach this point. They flirt with commitment. They dip a toe in the water. They keep one foot in and one foot out, just in case they need an escape plan. And that's why they lose. Because half measures don't create victory. Playing it safe doesn't lead to domination. The ones who win, the ones who set the pace, the ones who walk into the room and command it. They are the ones who burn the boats, who remove the safety net, who make the move so decisive that there is no way to recover from it. The point of no return is where fear dies. It's where hesitation stops existing. It's the moment when you stop wondering if you're ready, and you just move. Because you know that no matter what happens, you are not going back. This is what separates those who talk about winning from those who actually win. Everyone says they want success. Everyone says they're willing to do what it takes. But when it comes time to cross that threshold, to make the move that they can't undo, most people step back. They want an exit strategy. They want the reassurance that if things go wrong, they can still be comfortable, still be safe. But that's not how greatness works. You don't dominate by hedging your bets. You don't lead by keeping a backup plan in your pocket. You lead by moving forward so aggressively, so decisively, that the only possible outcome is success. Because failure isn't even an option anymore. Think of the most dominant warriors in history. When they arrived at battle, they didn't leave their ships on the shore. They burned them. They eliminated the possibility of retreat, of second-guessing, of running away. They made the decision victory or nothing. And that level of commitment, that level of certainty, is what made them unstoppable. The same applies to every area of life in business, in sports, in relationships, in personal growth. If you always keep one foot in safety, you will never go all in. And if you don't go all in, you will never reach the level of success that demands full commit. This is why most people never rise to the top. They want guarantees. They want reassurance. They want to know that if they take the risk, there will be a way back if things go wrong. But the ones who dominate, the ones who reach the highest levels of success, they don't need a way back because they don't plan for failure. They don't prepare to lose. They step into the moment and they close every door except the one that leads to victory. This is what power looks like. This is what control feels like. It's the ability to shut off every doubt, every fear, every unnecessary thought, and make the move that changes everything the moment you reach the point of no return. Your focus sharpens your instincts. Take over. You stop worrying about things that don't matter, and you start operating with a level of intensity that few people ever experience, because suddenly there's no noise, no distractions, no outside opinions, just the mission, just the goal, just the outcome that you have already committed to making happen. And when you move like this, when you make the decision so final that it cannot be undone, you gain an advantage that no one else has. Because while others are still deciding, still wondering if they should act, you've already acted. While others are still considering their options, you've already taken control. That's why this moment, this commitment, is the ultimate weapon. The second you go all in, truly all in, everyone else is playing catch-up because they are still holding back. They are still weighing their choices. And you've already decided, you've already made the move they'll never recover from,